Humans spend valuable and precious mental energy planning revenge as victims of an injustice. Is it really possible to resist the urge to pay back? Let's go there. Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome, Restored family, to Chiname's Place, your space to pace on everything biblical life application. How do we do life in a way that glorifies God? I'm Minister Chiname Ijabon, aka Chiname Ijabano. Well, Restored family, in this week, what are you thanking God for? And who are you giving a special shout out? Please drop in the chat your thanksgiving to God and your shout out to a friend or family, somebody who helped you, a birthday, graduation, anniversary. Yes, we are a thankful people. And we just want to start off this morning by lifting up some thanks and some praise to God and also appreciating the people in our lives. Well, today's broadcast is sure to bless you. So if you have not already, please go ahead and click that subscribe button on our YouTube page. And please press that follow button on our Facebook page as well. We have a lot of our viewers who haven't actually become subscribers and followers. So please help us do that. And share on your platforms as well. Share the video link directly on your platforms. Welcome this morning. Good to see you on. Yes. So today we would love to see your engagement and your comments throughout. So please get ready to get engaged and participate in our dialogue this morning. Let's get started with an opening prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for today. This is indeed the day you have made, and we choose to rejoice and be glad in it. Thank you, the giver of life. All good and perfect gifts, they come from the Father of light, in whom there is no variableness nor shadow of turning. We thank you in our highs, in the blessings. We thank you in our lows. We thank you, Father, that we woke up to this day and you started us on our way. We thank you that there's a hope, there's a future, and there's an expected end with you. So, Lord, we ask that as we dialogue on the issue of revenge, we ask, Lord, Holy Spirit, that you would brood over our hearts to instruct, to teach, to empower, to encourage us, oh God, to the glory and praise of your name. And all these things we pray in Jesus' name. Amen and amen. Please type on that chat and amen. All right. Well, Restored family, this morning, let's take a deep dive into that topic called revenge. This topic was actually inspired by a woman in 1 Samuel named Hannah. She lived in a polygamous marriage to Elkanah, where his other wife, Peninnah, perpetually oppressed Hannah's mental health and her emotional well-being because of her infertility. And as Hannah prayed to God for a child, she did something special. She vowed to dedicate that child to God. She didn't plan to use him as a source of vengeance against Peninnah. And as a result, God blessed her with 5 more children for a total of 6. So let's begin today by looking at the meaning of revenge. Why do people revenge? What do people revenge? Revenge in the Bible, the Old Testament versus New Testament, and also practical steps to walk in forgiveness. So let's start with the meaning of revenge. Restored family, go ahead and type in the chat maybe your understanding or definition of revenge in the chat box. Let's know how you describe revenge. When you think of that word revenge, what does that kind of mean to you? Yes. And as you do so, let's look at the Webster Dictionary and see how it describes revenge. All right, to revenge oneself or another, usually by retaliating in kind or degree, to inflict injury in return for a desire for vengeance or retribution, an act or instance of retaliating in order to get even, an opportunity for getting satisfaction. Yes, good morning. Welcome, Auntie Rosemary. God bless you. Yes. Also, let's look at a definition from dictionary.com on the meaning of revenge. It says to exact punishment or expiation for a wrong on behalf of, especially in a resentful or vindictive spirit, to take vengeance for, inflict punishment for, avenge the act of revenge or the act of revenging, retaliation for injuries or wrongs, vengeance, something done in vengeance, the desire to retaliate, vindictiveness, and an opportunity to retaliate or gain satisfaction. Yeah, we're looking at the meaning of the word revenge. So there are at least 100 scriptures which talk about revenge. And at the root of revenge lies the inability to lay down a need for justice, right? It's an inability to walk in forgiveness. So today we will look at some practical steps on how to walk in forgiveness and what that kind of looks like in our lives or could look like in our lives. Here are some antonyms of revenge. Can you think of some antonyms of revenge? In other words, the opposite of revenge. Restore family. Let's see some comments in the chat. When you think of the very opposite of revenge, what words come to your mind? What do you think of? Are there some comments coming in the chat? What do you think of as the opposite of revenge? I think of words like forgiveness, words like pardon, leniency, mercy, grace, clemency, and remission. Yes, thank you. Sister Alberta says forgiveness. Absolutely. Thanks for those comments. Now let's look at what type of things people revenge. What do people revenge? Restored family. I need your engagement today. I want you to tell us when you think of some wrongdoings where people feel pushed that they have to revenge. Please type in the box. Let's talk about it. Some external wrongdoings that people might feel they need to revenge. Thank you. Auntie Rosemary said, yes, the opposite of revenge is peace. Yes, Sister Uda says forgiveness. Thank you. So what are some of the things that maybe make people so angry and they just feel that need that, you know what, they're going to revenge? Let's start with crimes. What sorts of crimes do people feel like, you know what, they're going to revenge? And let's get some comments in the chat. And as you type, I will also talk about some that come to mind, some crimes like assault, or murder. Someone was murdered in the family or friends or neighbor. How about rape, right? Crimes like that. Abuse, yes. Sister Betty says abuse. How about in the family? Things that happen in a family. That's Rosemary says a betrayer. That's right. Yeah. In a family, there might be preferential treatment of siblings to the point where maybe there's inheritance issues, or somebody steals their inheritance, or you're disinherited completely from the family. Can you think of others in your birth family or extended family that sometimes makes people feel like, you know what, they're just going to revenge this, whether they say it out or they say it in their hearts, but somewhere they've said it consciously or subconsciously. Yes. How about in marriages? In marriages, sometimes people, things happen, and one spouse in their hearts, they may say it verbally or they may say it in their heart that, you know what, they're going to get this spouse back. Maybe things like infidelity, things like domestic violence, abuse. Someone said abuse earlier, or even divorce, right? Someone, disappointing them so bad by walking out of the marriage. Thank you. I see infidelity. That's right. Yes, absolutely. How about in the workplace? Things that go down in the workplace. Yes, you can have maybe some form of extreme nepotism, right? Where someone is passed over for promotions constantly, consistently because of some form of nepotism. How about hostility, a very toxic work environment? Or maybe in the business, when a business is just totally ruined and destroyed intentionally by someone. Yeah. Some of us have experienced that in our lives, our families, where people come in and just are the destroyers. And sometimes it pushes us to feel like, we need to pay back. All right. How about education? In the education system or institutions, for example, in broken systems where students are forced to or compelled to exchange sex for grades, right? Sex for grades system, and they become very bitter and angry about that. Can you think of others in the education system that sometimes drives people to feel like they have to revenge, or maybe cheating or bribing in the examination process, right? Could make people really angry and feel vengeful or revengeful. Any others you can think of in the educational institutions? Hmm. How about spiritual harm? This is a big one, especially in African cultures and Asian cultures, right? Where people feel like someone did something to them that's hindering their progress or destroying their dreams and their plans, right? Or causing them nightmares. They feel maybe some form of hex or spell or voodoo or charms or any form of diabolical means, right? Those are also reasons sometimes people become really vengeful and angry at others. Thank you. Welcome. Welcome, Pastor Uchana. God bless you. Can you think of others? Let's get a bit more engagement in the chat. We're talking about reasons sometimes people feel vengeful, revengeful, feel the need to revenge some things that happen. Yes. How about in our nation or in our community, in our nations or community, things that happen? Can we think of some things that have happened in our nations, in our communities, lands of nativities, lands of birth, lands where we live, right? Sometimes there's wars. Um, hmm, Wars take place, right? Civil wars, national wars, or marginalization, or even apartheid, like we saw in South Africa, or segregation, like we had in the United States, or extreme corruption, or just, the blatant theft of natural resources that causes extreme poverty. Can you think of others you want to add as we go along? Please go ahead and type that in the chat. And thank you. Thank you for those comments that have come in so far as we have discussed what sorts of things people feel the need to revenge or get angry about. Next, let's discuss why do people revenge? Why do people revenge? So we kind of identified the external wrongdoings which may compel people to become vengeful. Now let's talk about some of the internal motivations for revenge. Those intrinsic reasons or emotional reasons people feel compelled to revenge. Let's see some in the chat. Let's see some in the chat. What are those internal or intrinsic reasons why people might feel, you know what? Yeah, they need to get back. They need to pay back. Yes, I see. Pastor Ochana says to get justice hurt. They feel hurt. Absolutely. Thank you. Auntie Rosemary says hurt. Absolutely. Yes. I think also about maybe a sense of loss. They've lost something that was really precious to them, right? Yes, absolutely. Or their dignity has been crushed. Their human dignity has been crushed, has been messed with. Yes. Can we see some more? How about pride? Their pride may have been hurt, right? Yes, yes. Mr. Ifedi says, maybe the person has not yet died to self. That's a good one. Yes, we're getting there. Yes. Thank you for sharing that. How about a sense of satisfaction? They might want a sense of satisfaction, right? Um, to kind of right the wrong that they felt was done to them. Any others? Dashed egos. That's right. Yes, dashed egos. And there's another one I thought about, lack of the rule of law in a country or in a society. Therefore, there's no legal means for recourse or no means to pursue justice. That can be another reason why people feel, you know what, they got to take it into their own hands, right? So, where there's no good access to the rule of law or no good legal system where people can actually seek recourse, that also may cause a vengeful or revengeful attitude. Yes, absolutely. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for those comments. Well, in Matthew 5:25, Jesus speaks with the assertion that there should be a reliable justice system in our societies. That's an interesting perspective as I was studying. He says, agree with your adversary quickly while you are on the way with him, lest your adversary deliver you to the judge and the judge hand you over to the officer and you be thrown into prison. Assuredly, I say to you, you will by no means get out of there till you have paid the last penny. So as Jesus was talking, he was assuming and asserting, right, that there was a justice system. And he was saying, hey, before you get to the judge and the judge takes you to the officer and the officer throws you in prison, try to settle your issues, right? But unfortunately, in a lot of our societies across the world today, there is no reliable justice system. There is no rule of law. So people are getting away with doing very criminal acts and unjust acts to others. Absolutely. That was a good one. Thank you for your engagement. Thank you for your comments. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Okay. Now let's look at revenge in the Bible. The Old Testament versus the New Testament. This is an interesting one. Revenge in the Bible, the Old Testament versus the New Testament. So, Restored Family, let me ask you. Let's start with the Old Testament. Yes or no? Were there circumstances according to the Old Testament that it is okay to revenge? Let's look at those Bible scholars. Were there circumstances according to the Old Testament that it actually is okay to revenge? Let's get some comments. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? Let's get some ideas in the chat box. Yes or no? Can you think of some circumstances? I'm thinking of Exodus 21, 23 to 25. In Exodus 21, 23 to 25, this is what it said. But if any harm follows, then you shall give life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot, burn for burn, wound for wound, stripe for stripe. Yes. Pastor Ochana says, yep, the Old Testament was filled with stories of revenge. And as a matter of fact, it was commanded, it was allowed, it was permitted. So in the Old Testament time, yes, people were permitted to pay back exactly any harm done to them. If they beat you, you beat them back. If they murder someone in your family, you murder someone back in their family. If they steal your land, it's okay for you to plan how to steal their land back. Yep, that was how it was in Old Testament times. Thank you for those comments in the chat. Yep, eye for an eye. Absolutely, yes. Okay, well, let's look at revenge in the New Testament. In the New Testament. So, are there circumstances according to the New Testament that it is okay to revenge? Let's see. Let's see those who are know a bit of the Bible. Let's look at the New Testament. How about the New Testament? Are there circumstances in the New Testament? Let's switch to New Testament now, where it was okay to revenge. New Testament. Let's see some comments in the chat. Can you think of any circumstances, any incidents in the New Testament? Let's see, restored family who is out there. Are there times or circumstances in the New Testament it was okay to revenge? I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this. All right. Well, while you post your thoughts, I think of Jesus's words in Matthew chapter 5, 38 to 48. It's a long read, but I think we can read it and look at it. So Jesus comes along in the New Testament and he literally flipped the script. He flipped the script on us. Yes, Pastor Uchenasi says, yes, the New Testament is down for us to turn the other cheek. So let's see what it says in Matthew 5, 38 to 48. He said, you have heard what it was said, right? So it was referring to that scripture we were reading in Exodus. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. But I tell you not to resist an evil person, but whoever slaps you on the right cheek, turn, right? The other to him also. If anyone wants to sue you and take away your tunic, let him have your cloak also. And whoever compels you to go 1 mile, go with him too. Give to him who asks you, and from him who wants to borrow from you, do not turn away. You have heard it was said, you shall love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I say to you, love your enemies, bless those who curse you, and do good to those who hate you, and pray for those who spitefully use you and persecute you, that you may be sons of your Father in heaven. For he makes his sun rise on the evil and the good, and sends rain on the just and unjust. But if you love those who love you, what reward have you? Do not even the tax collectors do the same? And if you greet your brethren only, what do you do more than others? Do not even the tax collectors do so? Therefore, you shall be perfect just as your Father in heaven is perfect. That is a tough one. That is a hard one, right? So, restored family, how well have you been doing with turning the other cheek, giving away your cloak, going 2 miles instead of one? How well have we been doing with loving our enemies and blessing those who curse us and praying for our persecutors? Wow, that is a tough one. Restore family, what sayest thou? How easy or hard is that? That is really a tough one for us to do, but Jesus tells us to do that so that we might be sons of his Father in heaven, a reflection of his character, and that we shall be perfect as our Father in heaven is perfect. Thank you, Pastor Ochena, for that honesty. Not so well. It is so hard to pray for someone you know is cursing you out. It's so hard to love someone who you know is your enemy, who is gossiping about you, who is trying to ruin your reputation, who is trying to pull you down in your career, at work, or your business, for your pour sand, right? Sand in your water, your business, right? Or difficult customer or experience, or someone in your family or marriage, who is really giving you a tough time. Yes, but Jesus' call to action for us replaces revenge for forgiveness. Yes. So Jesus called us to action. He calls us to action to replace revenge for forgiveness. Thank you for those honest comments in the chat. So Let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to look at practical steps on how to actually walk in that forgiveness, how to practically do those things that Jesus commanded us to do in Matthew 5 when he's calling us to action to move and change from revenge to forgiveness. So don't go anywhere. If you haven't already, please click that subscribe button. Please share on your platforms. I like that. Sister Rosa says, working on it. Pray for me. Thank you for your honesty. We'll be right back.
In a world where digital presence is paramount, you need a company that has an unwavering commitment to excellence in website creation for small businesses. With a team of seasoned professionals, Greenwood Global Systems delivers business websites tailored to meet your unique needs and objectives. Our dedicated team works tirelessly to ensure that your vision is not only met but exceeded. From intuitive design to seamless functionality and enhanced performance, Greenwood Global Systems crafts websites that captivate audiences, drive engagement, and achieve scalable results. Choose Greenwood Global Systems for your website creation needs and experience the difference. Contact us today to elevate your online presence and unlock your full potential.
So on behalf of Women of Restoration USA, we are donating these items to the Female Acute Ward of the Psychiatric Hospital, Ghana. Thank you.
So we received these things and we say a very big thank you on behalf of the hospital management, the hospital, all the patients, and the female acute ward in particular. We say a very big thank you to you all, and we say that God should replenish everything that you have lost through this donation. So we receive these items in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen.
A big thank you to our sponsor for our broadcast today. Please patronize them at greenwoodglobal.com. Excellent with all things websites and blogs and things of that nature. All right. Well, Chinama's newsletter is here. Chinama's Place newsletter is here. We have a grand total of 1 subscriber. Thank you. Thank you. So please subscribe today by going to newsletter.chinamesplace.com to engage in the Restored Family community. We really would appreciate your engagement there. Well, join me on November 30th at 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. as I bring a presentation on the Christmas story at the Children's and Youth Prayer Christmas Party. So if you have children 12 years and under in the Washington, D.C. metro area, please bring them out to enjoy a wholesome Christmas party and Christmas festivities at the African Christian Fellowship. It's at 6707 Annapolis Road in Hatfield, Maryland. Hope to see some of your children there. Do you know the Bible, and do you have what it takes to be the November Bible Challenge winner? It's all coming to you live on Chinama's Place on November the 30th. The Bible Challenge is a live Bible quiz competition for the Restored Family. So please get your 2 devices ready to participate for a chance to win $50 cash prize for yourself or for your favorite charity. Yes. Do you know someone who knows the Bible and wants the cash prize? Please send them this announcement to participate. At the beginning of the November 30th broadcast, we'll provide information on how to join the contest. So, will you be a winner on the Bible Challenge game? We'll find out on November 30th. And congratulations to Onyi, our October winner. She has received her cash prize of $50 from Chinama's Place on behalf, and thanks to our sponsors for that. So for sponsorship and advertising opportunities at Chinama's Place or to sponsor the Bible Challenge, please email us at chinemesplace@gmail.com, chinemesplace@gmail.com. Now back to our dialogue for today. All right, Restore family. Today we are talking about revenge. We looked at the meaning of revenge. What do people revenge? Why do people revenge? Revenge in the Bible, the Old Testament versus the New Testament. Now we want to talk about practical steps to walk in forgiveness. Practical steps to walk in forgiveness. So please get your chats ready or your feedback ready, suggestions ready in the chat. Let's look at some practical steps to walk in forgiveness. How easy is it for you to forgive? And what are some of the practical steps that you've taken in the past that has worked for you? I would love to see some of your feedback in the chat. Yes? Yeah. How easy is it for you to forgive? And what are some practical steps that have worked for you in the past? Help us out, Restored family. Let's hear from you today. I would love to see some of your comments in the chat. I know forgiveness for some is much easier said than done, right? But as believers in Christ Jesus, we are compelled to embrace forgiveness as a lifestyle. Yes. Oh, thank you for that comment. Pastor Uchenna says, praying for the individual softens my heart. Thank you for that. And the reason forgiveness is even possible at all is because we've been forgiven by God through Jesus Christ, right? We didn't even experience forgiveness by God through Jesus Christ. We wouldn't even know what that means to not have guilt, to not carry the weight of shame, but to be truly forgiven, spiritually forgiven from all our trespasses and our sins and our wrong ways, right? Jesus said in Matthew 6:14-15, it says, if you forgive those who sin against you, your heavenly Father will forgive you. But if you refuse to forgive others, your heavenly Father will not forgive your sins. Wow, that's pretty strong, right? That's pretty strong. It's telling us that it does have an impact also on our relationship with God. So let's look at a few things that forgiveness is not. Forgiveness is not giving up your ability to protect yourself. It's not giving up your ability to defend your family or to set boundaries or to seek legal or justice or to seek legal or court justice or recourse. It's not giving up your ability to do that. It is okay to put measures in place to prevent yourself and your family from a repeat offender, to protect yourself and your family from becoming victims to these circumstances. This is not revenge. If you're just putting up measures in place to protect yourself, your family from crime or from these sorts of incidents we discussed at the beginning, it's not revenge as long as you're not paying back what the offender did. But forgiveness is releasing someone from a debt they owe you. Yes, that's a good one. It's releasing them from a debt they owe you. That debt may be restitution. They may owe you restitution and they may not give you back, but it's releasing them from it. It may be an apology. They owe you an apology. It may be a debt of apology and they refuse to, or they never do, but it's releasing them from the debt of apology they owe to you. It may be a tangible item like money or something, land they stole from you, or something, even maybe a romantic partner or a spouse. That's a big one. Maybe you were dating someone you were in love with and someone comes along and literally sweeps them away from you, right? That can be a painful experience. Yeah. And yes, Sister Betty says, communicating your forgiveness to the person who hurt you. That's a good one, right? So maybe telling them you forgive them. Sometimes they don't even know they offended you. How about people who don't even know they offended you? How's that when you go up to someone and say, hey, I forgive you, and the other person is like, but what did I do? Well, that's a good one, though. That's very interesting. It reminds me of someone who was angry with me, and I knew they were angry with me because they had stopped calling into prayer line. So I called them, I followed up with them, and I found out they were angry with me because when they came to one of my parties, the food was finished. They came really late, and the food was finished. So I didn't know I did something wrong to them, or I didn't know they were angry with me. But I could tell that they were somehow, distant. So I called them, I begged them, I apologized profusely. I did all that I knew to do. They still stopped being my friend. They canceled me from all their social media, blocked my phone number, and went to great extremes. Even their husband did the same, blocked me from social media, canceled me on their phones and all that. So I think I did all that God wanted me to do, and I've released them. I released them. But I remember her saying to me, "I forgive you," and I'm thinking, "Huh? What did I do?" Okay, but when she said what I did was that the food was finished at my son's party, I begged her, I offered apologies, but that was not good enough for her. But I believe I did what God wanted me to do, right? By humbling myself and apologizing. But forgiveness is both a decision and a process. You can look at forgiveness as both a decision and a process. And as we saw earlier in Matthew, if we withhold forgiveness, it impacts our relationship with God. So here are a few things, about 5 things or so, that you can do to walk in forgiveness, right? So sometimes when you've gone through deep things like rape, abuse, murder, it might not be so easy to just, boom, slap forgiveness and say, "Oh, I forgive," and that's it, right? So for some, it's a process. Yes. Thank you, Sister Rosa. She says, reminding myself I'm not perfect. So step 1, or one thing you can do, is acknowledgement. Acknowledge the hurts and the pain that you've experienced without judging yourself, and allow yourself to feel the emotions fully. Feel the feel. Yes. Some Christians teach that you should ignore your feelings and totally ignore any negative feelings and not internally acknowledge things that you feel or acknowledge are wrong. But denial is not quite supported in the scripture, and denial does not help your healing. Let's look at Ephesians chapter 4, verse 26 to 27. It really describes this very well. It says, "Be angry at sin, at immorality, at injustice, at ungodly behavior, yet do not sin. Do not let your anger cause you shame, nor allow it to last until the sun goes down, and do not give the devil an opportunity to lead you into sin by holding a grudge or nurturing anger or harboring resentment or cultivating bitterness." Wow. Yes, thank you for that one person who sent some hearts. Please release some hearts on Facebook and YouTube. Release some likes. It really helps those algorithms help our channels to grow, and we can spread the word to many other people. Wow, this is such a beautiful explanation in the Amplified Version. It is saying that you're not supposed to deny that you are hurt or angry or abused. No, it's saying feel the feel, but don't let it last, and don't give the devil an opportunity to put grudges in your heart, anger in your heart, resentment in your heart, and bitterness in your heart. It's the Amplified Version. So please read it again when you have a chance. I love that scripture. Wow, I really do. Powerful, isn't it? If you like that scripture, give some thumbs up, send some hearts. Absolutely. Second, I would say explore the root cause. Yes, explore the root cause. Ask yourself, what is causing me to feel the way that I do, right? Understand what is driving that anger or that resentment. Examine some past experiences or patterns, maybe patterns that this person is doing that may be contributing to the anger. So explore it. It's okay to explore the root cause, like what's really going on. Get in touch with your feelings and emotions and see, what is the root cause of my resentment against this person or my bitterness against this person. Next, I would say make a conscious choice. Make a conscious choice. So make a conscious decision to forgive. Yes. Hallelujah. Woo! Let's clap that up. Let's clap that up. So this is where forgiveness is a choice, right? We have to make a decision to forgive even when it feels difficult, right? Because unforgiveness has power over you because it keeps your heart preoccupied in a bitter place. That was powerful, right? Unforgiveness has power over you because it keeps your heart preoccupied in a bitter place, right? Yes. So making this conscious decision, it releases that power that hurt has over you. Making that conscious decision releases the power that hurt has over you. Thank you for that. Thumbs up, Sister Gotcha. Thank you. Yes, forgiveness is intentional. Thank you for that, Pastor Chena. So the fourth thing we'll say is release the pain. Release the pain. So intentionally let go of the negative emotions associated with the hurt, associated with the person. You can do this in prayer. Imagine yourself releasing them physically, releasing that pain mentally, right? You can imagine hurt and pain as a thing that you're releasing. Yes, that's one way as well to walk in forgiveness, releasing the pain. How about practicing compassion? Someone mentioned this earlier in the conversation. Practicing compassion towards yourself and towards the person who's offended you. Yes. So recognizing that everyone has faults, including guess who? Me. Including you, right? We have faults, and if people don't forgive us, we will have no connections, we'll have no relationships, we'll have no network, we'll have no friends. So as Christ has forgiven us, we also are compelled to offer that forgiveness to others. So if somebody specifically has really wronged you, has hurt your feelings, cultivate and practice kindness towards them, right? And sometimes Sister Betty had said this might involve communicating with them that you forgive them, and you're extending the hand of fellowship to them. So let me ask the Restored family a question. So when you forgive someone, does that mean you have to be in relationship with them or continue your friendship or be close to them or continue the relationship as it was before? Let me get some feedback in the chat. When you forgive someone, do you have to continue the relationship as it was before? Okay, I see a no in the chat. All right. Anyone else? Does anyone think yes, that's a sign of forgiveness? Anyone else? Any more comments? Yeah, I think maybe not. I don't think you have to continue the relationship as it was before, but certainly you can still forgive, but does not mean that the relationship has to be close. Someone says it depends, Elijah. Okay, it depends, yeah. So maybe a part of protecting your family or protecting yourself might involve not being so close to that person anymore or so close to those circumstances. I may have to create some form of distance, some form of physical distance or emotional distance or mental distance, right? Absolutely. So I hope someone has been blessed by the 5 steps of how to practically walk in forgiveness, acknowledgement, exploring the root cause, making a conscious decision to forgive, releasing the pain, and practicing compassion. Thank you so much for your engagement. I appreciate that. Now, on to our next segment. What does the Bible have to say about that? Yeah. So let's look at some scriptures that speak about revenge. In 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 23, it says, who, when he was reviled, did not revile in return. When he suffered, he did not threaten, but committed himself to him who judges righteously. Wow. So when wrong was done, Jesus didn't do wrong back, right? But he committed the circumstances and the issues to God the Father, who's a righteous judge. So we also have to trust that God does judge and he judges righteously. All right. How about Hebrews chapter 12, verse 15? Hebrews chapter 12, verse 15 says, look after each other so that none of you fails to receive the grace of God. Watch out that no poisonous roots of bitterness grows up to trouble you, corrupting many. So, right. So this is warning us about developing a root of bitterness, right? So it is possible to become bitter. And we do not want to become bitter because that hinders our relationship with God and interrupts our relationship with humanity and with people. Sometimes people who God has brought in our lives. Sometimes it's okay to release people, but sometimes God does want you to make up and continue your friendship. Let's look at 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 9. 1 Peter 3:9, it says, do not repay evil with evil or insult with insult. I like that. On the contrary, repay evil with blessing, because to do this, you were called so that you might inherit a blessing. Wow. Again, let me repeat that. Do not repay evil with evil or insult with insult. On the contrary, repay evil with blessing, because to this you were called. To this you were called so that you might inherit a blessing. That's a really powerful one, right? How about Romans chapter 12, verse 19? This is from the ESV version. Romans 12:19. Beloved, never avenge yourselves, but leave it to the wrath of God, for it is written, vengeance is mine, I will repay, says the Lord. This is one of my favorite scriptures in helping me keep in check with when things go wrong. And, there's that internal need to revenge or pay back. And I remember the scriptures to say, vengeance is mine, says the Lord, I will repay. So let the Lord fight your battles. He's a much greater battle fighter and warrior than you can ever be, because he fights battles in realms that human hands cannot go. He fights battles for us in deep realms, right? So call on the Lord to avenge for your sake, because he does a much better job than us planning and scheming would ever do. All right, next time on Chiname's Place. It's Thanksgiving. Next Thursday, on the 21st of November, Americans will celebrate a holiday called Thanksgiving. Why should you be thankful in such a harsh world? And how does Thanksgiving improve your mental health and your spiritual health? Tune in to find out next week. Let's go there. And on November 30th, please don't forget to join us for the Bible Challenge, for a chance to win $50 cash prize for yourself or your favorite charity. Please spread this announcement so that if you know the Bible and you would like to win this cash prize, please tune in and do not miss the broadcast. So please tell your friends not to miss the broadcast next Saturday. Be sure to like, subscribe, follow, share, and click the notification buttons on our channels. We have a lot of our viewers who haven't yet actually subscribed or followed our pages. So please do so, such that our page can grow. And is there a topic you are eager for us to discuss? Please email us at chinamesplace@gmail.com. Let's go there. Restored family, Jesus is calling you. At this time, can we pray for all our loved ones who have not yet received salvation from Jesus Christ? Can you join me as we pray at this time? Also, you might be listening on today's broadcast and you've never really opened up the doors of your heart to receive Jesus Christ as your Lord and personal Savior. Can I invite you to consider doing that this morning or this afternoon, evening, wherever you're dialed in from? Maybe you once walked with Jesus Christ, you had a strong relationship with him, but have walked away from your faith. The Bible tells us in Romans chapter 10, verse 9 to 10, that if you confess with your mouth the Lord Jesus and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. For with the heart one believes unto righteousness, and with the mouth confession is made unto salvation. So we need to believe in him, and we need to confess he is Lord for us to be saved. Yes. And in Acts chapter 4, verse 12, speaking about Jesus, it says, salvation is found in no one else, for there is no other name given to mankind by which we must be saved. Jesus Christ came to save as many who will trust him and believe in him from the power of sin, to bring us into relationship with God, to give us eternal life starting now and continuing in heaven when you transition from this earth. So if you'd like to open up the doors of your heart to Jesus Christ today, please repeat this prayer after me. Dear Lord Jesus, I confess that I am a sinner. I have bitterness. I want to revenge. I want to do a whole bunch of things that I know do not glorify you. But today, I choose to repent and to turn away from my sins and to turn unto God. You died on the cross and rose again. I believe so. And by your blood, the penalty and the consequences of my sin is erased forever, and I can be saved from eternal condemnation from hell. So right now, I intentionally open up my heart completely to you to wash away my sin. And I make a decision this day to surrender my entire life, my choices, my spirit, my soul, my body to you. And I accept you, Lord, as my Lord and my personal Savior. Please write my name in the eternal book of life in Jesus' name. Someone please type an amen, amen, amen. If you said this prayer, congratulations to you. The Bible tells us that heaven rejoices, and there's literally a celebration and party for anytime a sinner repents and turns to God. Amen. Yes. All right. If you would like a recommendation for a church in your area, please feel free to email me at chinamesplace@gmail.com in whatever denomination you prefer, and we will do the job of searching for you. Restore family, I just want to thank you for spending a part of your day at Chinames Place. Thank you for the engagement. Thank you for the comments you post during the week. Thank you for sharing the video links on your social media page. It's not too late to go ahead and share this link on your social media page. You are simply the best community on social media, and I'm privileged and honored that you will tune in and listen to the broadcast. I leave you with this. You will accomplish your greatest spiritual growth by reading your Bible and praying every day. I encourage you to gather your entire household in a daily devotion and watch the hand of the Lord bless you. I love you. God bless you. God bless the Restored family. Bye for now.